Recording, please. Thank you. Okay. Tony, can you do roll call, please?
Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Let's start. Monica Wells. Here. Eva Muszewski. Yeah.
Here.
Oh, you're here. Abby.
Here.
Dan Cruz.
Here.
Steve Cohen.
Here.
And I'm sorry, ma'am, what's your name? Asia, okay, and Asia, okay, and they're all from WPR. Michael Zaslow,
Here.
John Timmerman,
Here.
Joyce Reed.
Yes.
Bobby Levin,
Here.
John Hess,
Here.
John Craig,
Yeah.
David Furness.
Here.
Ruth Dries.
Here.
I'm sorry, Maureen Debedeer.
Oh, you got it.
I got it?
Yeah, you got it.
Get better. Joanne, Tony, David Boas.
Here.
I thought I saw him somewhere. Jerry, no. Bruce,
Yes.
Stewart, he's gone. Patricia,
Here.
Fausto.
Here.
All right. You have a form.
Thank you. I'm going to give you a minute to read the minutes, those on the committee. And then I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes. Could I have a motion to accept the minutes? John Timmerman, seconded by John Gregg. Are there any corrections to the minutes as presented? Any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will be accepted as presented. Miss Monica, you're up. Sorry.
That's okay.
I wasn't looking.
Good afternoon, everybody. We've handed out our regular monthly reports that I usually review. But given that this is a budget meeting today and we've got so much to go over, if it's okay, I'm not going to review the reports. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me later, give me a call, or send me an email.
Committee, will someone make a motion to forego with the financial statements? John Hess and Michael Zaslow. Okay, we'll forego with the financial statements.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate it, but all your reports, your normal monthly reports are right here in this regular packet.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything on this report that you might want to bring to our attention before we just pass it over?
No, not really. It's pretty much routine.
Okay.
Nothing in particular.
That's good.
But I appreciate the question. But really, seriously, if anybody reviews it afterwards and has a question, don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, the next group of documents is, you will recognize, those of you that are repeat members of the committee will recognize this is our annual budget. Our budget year, current budget year ends October 31st. So this is be for the new budget year that begins November 1st, running through October 31st, 2026.
Do you have extra copies for me? I don't have any.
Oh, sorry, sure. So that everybody's not flipping through to look to the back page to see where we're at.
Yeah.
Before we get started, just a very brief preview of where we would be if every single thing that we propose on the budget was approved, which we know will not happen, but if that were to be the case, as of right now, leaving the two reserves the same as they are right now, and that again is a committee decision whether you decide to do that or not. The operating increase in your monthly coupon from the current year to the new year would be $4.38. So that's where we're starting out. And we have a pressing matter that we have Abby and Steve here to discuss. And we wanted to let them go first before we start going through all the line items on the budget. I don't know, Eva, if you had anything else, or Dan had anything else before we really get started working on through the budget? Yeah, okay, all right, so Abby and Steve, like I said, are here, and they have something they wanted to ask the committee about because it is somewhat of an urgent nature. And after they have this discussion, then Abby will go ahead and go through the line items that she's responsible for on your budget, and then we can let them leave, and then we'll start over at the beginning of the budget, if that's okay. Yes, John?
That $4.34 or whatever it is that including the stuff we've already went over and said we?
No, this includes every single thing in this budget.
Okay.
All the things that we went over before, the items that the committee voted to include are in this budget, yes.
Okay.
The things that you decided to delay. that we-
$4 covers all that.
Mhm.
$4.38.
Mhm.
No problem.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for allowing us to go first. I have Steve here. We have a piece of equipment that Steve's going to explain to you. And the piece of equipment that we currently have, you share amongst the 3 Century Villages. It is old and it is antiquated, and we have been traveling that piece of equipment for years. Steve has been putting it in his car to get it to every village when it's needed. This piece of equipment has become a state-of-the-art, mandatory, so to speak, for artists. And again, he'll get into what it is. The reason we're bringing this to your attention now is we have it in your budget for next fiscal year with a cost of $30,000. We were able to speak with the distributor, and we have been able to secure it currently, I think, through August 31st?
Yes.
Through August 31st for $25,000. I don't know whether you have the money to spend it or not. I don't know that it's gonna be $30,000 when you approve it. We're assuming because of tariffs and shipping and everything else that the cost is gonna go up. We have already purchased one for Spoka and one for Pembroke. They chose to do it in this year to save the $5,000. It still could be $25,000 in November if we purchase it, or it could be $30,000, or it could be $35,000. We don't know. So we're just, again, we don't have to have it today. We're just informing you that if you would like, we can secure it for a great price. And that's totally your decision. But the piece of equipment that you are currently using that we will need for season is not gonna hold up. It's called an in-ear monitor, so I'm gonna let Steve explain it to you and then I'll take it back.
Hi. So basically what in-ear monitors are earphones. And they've become much more prevalent over the past decade or so. Instead, or in addition to using speakers on stage, a lot of performers now are using earphones. So while 10 years ago or so, when we purchased a shared system, it was sort of optional, meaning the performers that used earphones would ask us for this equipment, and I would say, okay, either we don't have it, or it's in use at another place, or et cetera, and they would say, okay, I'll forego it, or I'll bring my own. Now we're at the point where it's not optional, because they've become so prevalent in use. So even if we continue using the traveling system that we own, it can't be in 2 places at once. And most of our shows are on Saturday nights. So that's why I'm asking each place to purchase their own system and keep the old one as a backup, obviously. So that's the big item that I'm asking for this year. It's called an in-ear monitoring system, but like I said, to distill it down, it's just earphones that performers use to hear themselves on stage.
You know the big monitors on the front of the stage?
Yeah.
Those big boxes? there are times when those will be eliminated. So when people are sitting in the front row and they say it's too loud, it's because you're hearing sound from that monitor. A performer has to hear what they're singing. And I'm just gonna give you for instance, Tony Orlando, why he's not working anymore is he's completely deaf, completely. 100, you cannot even have a conversation unless you write up to him. So these performers through the years, you know, they need this to give you a quality show and for them to be able to hear the mix, meaning some like more drums, some like more keyboards, you know, so forth and so on. So it's really critical, and in the end, in my opinion, for the first 7, 8, 10 rows, it's going to be better for the patron on those shows when they're not necessarily, sometimes they'll still use them for certain things, but it will be better for the patron. So again, this is just an opportunity where we know, because we've already bought 2, we have till August 31st. If you want to save the money, if you don't, it's not mandatory that it is spent in this fiscal year, but it is going to be important to get in the budget, yes.
The 2 that were purchased, is it the same one as the traveling one?
No, the traveling one is no, the technology has changed considerably. That's what you're asking.
So the new ones are upgraded?
Oops, sorry. The original one is analog. The new ones that we just purchased for Boca and Deerfield are digital. I'm sorry, Boca and Deerfield, Pembroke are digital.
Michael, you had a question?
What's the expected lifespan on this equipment?
Probably 15 years. And the company that I use is Shure. You may or may not have heard of them. They've been around for 100 and something years. They're a US company. However, some of their physical equipment is manufactured in Mexico, and the batteries, the lithium-ion batteries, are manufactured in China. When I originally started looking into the costs of these systems in April or something, the price had already gone up in May because of tariffs. And so that's why I'm not trying to throw a bait and switch at you. The increases truly have happened, and they're anticipating more increases.
Ken, you had a question?
Is this for each individual performer?
It's for, the system will be comprised of 4 wireless systems, which are for the main performers that move around, mostly singers that move around the stage, and 6 wired systems for musicians that are stationary.
How much is each wireless?
The wireless are the expensive part of it. The wired part of it is like $800 per person. The wireless systems, I'd have to get the exact amounts, but it's somewhere probably around $3,000 per person, maybe a little more, but just very approximate.
So the performers don't have their own?
Well, as I said originally, 10 years ago, when this became started to be used at our type of venues, in-ear monitors. Remember, in-ear monitors have been used 20 years at much larger venues, but when the performers that we get started to use them approximately 10 years ago, and I would say, well, we don't have them, or the system is being used somewhere else, they would say, okay, I'll bring my own, or I won't use them. Now they just assume that you have them, and they don't. No, they don't, because it's very expensive. Some performers do, some don't. You know.
Also, traveling with these systems
Right, sure.
is a major, they can't even get guitars and basses on the plane.
Very difficult to travel with
Very
anything today.
difficult to travel with them.
Is that the receiver that's the big piece of
The,
equipment?
the wireless transmitter in this case, remember, it's transmitting audio to the person. The transmitter is one of the big expenses. Yes.
So if they had their own in-ear monitor?
Well, they bring the physical ear plug thing that plugs into a pack, But the pack is expensive, which is the receiver, and the transmitter is expensive. That's where all the expense is.
They have, some of them have really good ones that are molded to their
Yeah, I have molded ones.
Yeah.
I went to an audiologist and they put goo in my ear.
So the $30,000 is a whole
Yeah.
group of pieces of equipment.
It's
not
10
one piece of
channels.
equipment.
6 and 4 is 10 channels, enough for 10 people, 4 wireless people and 6 wired people. Basically, a band and some singers. It'll cover most things that we have now if we ever get a Miami Sound Machine show with congas and marimbas and whatever. Then I will bring the old system to augment each new system. So, but for the most part, this will cover 80% of the groups that do work with earphones. Some still don't.
John? Yeah.
You're asking us, that's a lot of money, I think.
It's 25, yeah.
But we have nothing in front of us on paper.
As far as?
Any information on paper that we.
Oh, yeah, I'll, whatever you want as far as the system types, is that what you're saying? Oh, yeah, I have everything, whatever you want, I'm open access.
Can you send that to Eva and have Eva email it to us?
Sure,
I'd like to know, I'd like to do a little
sure,
research.
sure, any questions you have, I love talking about this stuff.
Okay.
John?
Cost per unit per person?
Cost per, what?
Oh, 25,000 divided by however many units.
But not exactly, I see, I'm thinking of my world.
It's like 25 cents a unit.
Even, Monica's doing it.
Pardon me?
100,000 is $1. So we're talking about a quarter.
And the cost for this is in the bottom line on the budget, it's included, but at 30 cents, 30,000 instead of the possible 25, that's why they're bringing it to you, so that you can save $5,000 instead of waiting until the new budget year. So that's already in your bottom line here.
So when you, if you don't want to make a decision today and you want the information from Steve, please just get back to Eva before August 30th so we can get the order in. I know, well, that's why we're here. Yes.
If it's only 26 cents per unit, I have no problem in approving it.
It's already included in the figure I gave you because we have it in the upcoming budget, but because of,
So it's already included?
Yeah, it's already-
Yeah.
yes.
John Hess?
Yeah, is the question here is if we buy it today, you can get it $5,000 cheaper than if we wait on it.
Correct.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, I'm in favor, let's not save $5,000, just let it go.
Yes, John?
I'll second that.
Okay. So we have a motion and we have accept.
Could you repeat the motion?
The motion is to purchase this unit, the in-here iPhones for $25,000
In the current fiscal year.
in the current fiscal year.
I have one more question. Has this
Yes,
ever
John.
been- Has this ever been discussed before?
No, but we know about the equipment that's shared, it's been shared over the 3 Century Villages for years. Yes, Tony?
Did you tell me who the motion and the second was? I'm sorry, John?
John Hess was one and John Gregg was the other.
Got it, thank you.
Yes, yes, John? Donald, I'm sorry. He's a John to somebody.
Question. This purchase, this proposed purchase is gonna come out of the current budget.
Yes.
Is the money in the budget to cover it?
No, it is not. That's why we're bringing it to you. It was not budgeted in this current year, it's budgeted in the new budget year.
Right, but you wanna buy it today.
We're just giving you the option.
So where's the money come?
We'll borrow it.
We can just be over budget, or we can take it from your reserves. That's your choice.
Everybody got that?
I can take it from there.
Okay.
Reserves.
Yes, Michael?
So if it is pulled from reserves in that way and it's funded in next year's budget, will we put back in that?
You'll decline it in next year's budget.
Yeah. If you choose to do it in the current year, I will remove it from the following year budget, and it will just lower, unless you decide to use reserves to pay for it, it will lower our positive variance that we have this year. But we have a pretty decent positive variance this year that's being carried forward to reduce the coupon next year.
Yes, Donald.
So Monica, should the motion be changed to say purchased it out of this year's budget, but to be taken off of next year's budget. Otherwise it's a permanent permanent withdrawal from your reserves.
No, it's not.
No, it doesn't matter.
No, it's either one, whatever you wanna do,
Okay.
it's your choice. We'll either purchase it in this year, be over budget, or purchase it in this year and use reserve money to cover it, so that it's a wash. But what I'm telling you is overall, at the end of the day, for the year, we're coming in at a positive surplus. It would just lower your positive surplus by $25,000. That's all I'm saying.
Let's talk about it.
We're gonna talk about it some more?
I have a question.
Joanne?
Can I just weigh
Yeah.
in? My vote as a, treasurer is to take it out of your positive variance.
Yes.
Right.
Because then it's just a shot, we're gonna, it's
Yes.
just something,
I know.
that we've already paid for. That's the whole thing, we've already paid for it.
You have a question, ma'am?
Hi, yes, I do. I love the idea that you are implementing new and updated communications or audio visuals. I'm in love with that. However, wouldn't it be a nice idea to have at least two estimates, or did you already prepare the two estimates presented to everybody?
This type of equipment, you can go online and see 26 prices, and they're virtually the same. Shure protects their dealerships.
Yes.
So you just go online and enter Shure, Axient, whatever, and the price will come up everywhere.
Okay, so.
And it'll be the same, virtually the same, yeah.
I didn't know.
And we're purchasing, that's fine, that's a good question. And we're purchasing from a company called Accutech, and they're a Shure dealer. And the beauty of purchasing from them is that they're local and they stand behind their equipment. So if we have a problem on a Sunday, I go to his place and he gives me his. But when you purchase online for the same money, you call somebody in a mail order place and you're out of luck. I mean, it'll get fixed eventually.
Yeah,
To piggyback on that, so you know more, is that we're required to get at least a minimum of 3 different bids. So what you're gonna see on this budget is we have a pool that we're going to be doing, all right? But to get prices now, when we're not gonna touch that pool until next summer, prices are gonna go up. So before we have to present it to the committee and they take a vote, they get the 3 bids, they get to look at everything, all right? And then they choose which vendor they're gonna go with, but we get more current pricing that will hold when we're actually ready to start the project.
Yes, John?
Call the vote.
Yes, Maureen?
What's
Yeah,
the
Jillian?
line, what's the line item on the budget for this?
It's Exhibit A.
Yes. Page what, 7?
Exhibit A, it's after your page 8,
Top of the page.
Exhibit A.
Oh, I found it, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions on this? Can we call the vote?
Call the vote.
Call the vote. Tony?
Michael Zaslow,
Yes.
John Timmerman. John
Yes.
Timmerman, yes. Joyce Reese.
Yes.
Bobby Levin.
Yes.
John Hess.
Yes.
John Craig.
Yeah.
David Furness.
Yes.
Ruth Drees.
Yes.
Maureen Devidere.
Yes.
Joanne.
Yes.
Tony, yes. David Boaz.
Yes.
Bruce.
Yes.
Patricia.
Yes.
Fausto.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carried.
Thank you. Next?
Thank you. Gotta talk about the delays.
Right, but do you want to, do I need to say anything about the delays or?
We can't hear you.
No, well, we can go over that when we get to the exhibit.
Okay.
Yeah, if that's okay.
Sure.
Most of you, I believe, were at the meeting, and for those of you that are new, every March, I do what's called an approval meeting for the following season. And so March of this year, I did an approval meeting for the 25-26 season. For those of you that were not here or are new, the reason that I do that is in order to go to print to sell, the shows for next season, I have to do that, I have to get your approval to sign contracts. So all of the budget items that are on this, that you will see on this budget, and we can start with number, expense would be line item 81, which is the theater, which we are requesting $294,585. We're not requesting it, that was already approved. That's for the fiscal year, the 12 months of entertainment. So that was already approved. The same thing with the dances. There was a insignificant decrease on the dances. The movies, there are a significant increase. As I explained to you at the last meeting, our vendor closed up shop, and now we have to do everything on our own. And we have found people, but obviously a company that was supplying your movies for over 50 years was significantly less expensive. But the increases, it's from $16,692 to $21,000. It's not massive in the scope of things. If you go to the next page, page 89, there is a $5,000 increase due to supply chain issues, printing costs. That's for all of your marketing that we do, clubhouse happenings, banners, our writer, social media, et cetera, et cetera. There's no significant on line item 91, Master of Ceremonies, it's only a $200 increase, nothing significant. The next line item is 100, which is actually $100 less. That's for conventions that I attend for buying talent, and everything in that line item, just so you are aware, is split between 3 villages. So when I go to a conference and the conference fee is $300, you're only paying $100. If you go back to page 1, line item number 8, that is, we are hoping and budgeting for to bring in $234,000. That is a total guesstimate. I cannot tell you if we're gonna have a hurricane and shut this clubhouse down for 2 months. I can't answer things like that. I can't say on a Saturday night and there's a storm in the dead of the winter and nobody wants to come to the theater. It's a total wild A guess. We've come very close and we've done very well through the years, and we're in a positive for this current fiscal year. And as you can see, we've increased it a little more. We do have 2 outside communities being sold to, and hopefully we'll get some more. So it's all looking positive, and to the best of my knowledge, everybody's happy and enjoying the shows. With regard to the dances, there is no increase whatsoever from last year to this year's budget. The only thing, and again, all of these line items were already approved, but I just wanted to go over it because I think there's one. John, is your name? John? I don't think you were here for that meeting, were you? Yeah, okay. So I just wanted you to understand that these were pre-approved. The only, John?
Have you and Eva, or has management looked at the Canadian question? We have 2 Canadians in our building that are selling our units because of the,
Tariffs.
the restrictions by the U.S. government. They can only stay 2.5 weeks
Oh, really?
unless they go through hoops and everything. So
I don't.
You listen, before they left for season, I spoke to someone who's involved in the CBA, the Cercle Bons Amis, and they were all planning to come back. But that was all predicated on what was gonna happen between then and when they come down in November. So there were those that cashed in when prices were high, and they thought they'd come back and get rentals and weren't able to do that. But the core group says that they will be back. But again, it's hard to.
Our 2 owners came back, put their units up for sale
Right.
because of the 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
They can't stay 6 months anymore unless they go through all these
I can tell you that they've made their reservations for rooms and for their events for the coming season, so they are being positive and putting in positive energy out into the universe, and we're gonna know closer to when it's time to come down, if anything's gonna change even between now and then.
The only thing that was not discussed at my March meeting, because we weren't ready to discuss it, is Exhibit A. And I will let Steve go over line item by line item with you, if you have any questions. So basically, it's showing a $43,000 expense, $30,000 of that $43,000.
Need to be looking at this.
Oh, sorry.
But we've got other items in here.
Oh,
that
I'm
I
sorry.
added
Okay, sorry.
That are included in that line item.
So the Exhibit A is $51,000, immediately $30,000 is coming off of that. So we're down to $21,000. And if you have any questions, I mean, it's the load in and load out labor. As you know, we are a one-man operation. There is no theater in the country that operates with a sound man and a light. Always there's a sound man and a lighting man. We operate with one employee, Laurent. It's great. But there are numerous performances that we need manpower. It is much cheaper to hire manpower to load this equipment in, load the equipment out, costumes, et cetera, et cetera. So we employ what's called, a company called Epic Productions. And we're asking, we need 128 hours, which will come to $56.69. And it's obviously, you can only imagine that that's much cheaper than having a second employee. Steve also is here. Again, it's based upon, Steve is an allocated employee like I am, so if Steve has to be here, it means he can't be in BOCO or vice versa. So Steve goes where he feels it's most critical for a second person to be here. Yes?
Are we loading and unloading the entertainers' equipment?
Correct.
Why can't they do that?
Because that's not the way it works in the industry, unfortunately.
Are they that lazy, or that's really the way it works?
That's really the way it works. And it's, a lot of it is heavy gear.
No, I've done it.
Oh,
I
okay.
did it for 20-something years.
Okay, what did you do?
I was a sound engineer and a roadie for a band up in New York.
There you go.
I know all about loading trucks and unloading trucks. And what, we can't get volunteers to do this? I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot of money, but I'm just asking a question. I mean, what's so hard about carrying costumes if we can't get volunteers?
Well,
5 years old, a lot.
It's, some of it is skilled, as far as building sets. It's also very heavy, it's heavy road cases, working with lift gates and things like that. There's a lot of risk,
Is
So
this,
this company assumes the risk. They're a labor company, they're all insured, they have their own workers' comp, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The people get hurt, as you know, unloading heavy road cases on lift gates and things like that. So it's more about risk.
The liability would be on us, John.
this is not for every show, correct?
no,
No.
128,
Right.
128 hours with about 73, 74
Right.
shows.
Right.
It's
So-
not significant.
I just wanted you to know that this is, because a small show doesn't need the help, they do it themselves.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, this isn't for every show.
This is not for the drummer that comes in and wants
I'd
his
be back
parody.
there cracking up, saying, you do that, we're not doing it for you.
This is not the average drummer that comes in and.
No, I know,
Okay. Routine piano tunings, and I believe that's not only in the theater, is that correct, or they? is it-
It's all.
It's all
Yeah.
pianos in the theater, standard mic cord stages, just, ancillary drum replacement heads, things like that. Repairs to automatic lighting fixtures, we have what's called intelligent lighting. So repairs are needed. And replacing the 18-year-old assisted listening receivers as needed. These are the ones that the residents come into the staff office, leave their ID, I believe.
Yes.
Leave their ID, and then they use it during the show, and then they bring it back. And obviously, residents taking it in and out, they get used. So we just budget in case they get damaged, which they get over time. and spare stage lamps and replacement follows. Is that what you hand wrote on every budget?
No, I did not, only on yours, so
Okay.
you need to inform them of that.
Steve needs to tell you about one other item.
Okay. On Sunday, one of our amplifiers, 20-year-old amplifier, stopped working. So that was post me making this budget. So a replacement is going to be approximately $2,000. This is the amplifier that powers the speakers that are for the balcony. So that was after. So there's an extra $2,000 that I'm asking to replace an amplifier in November for next year's budget. I brought a spare amplifier over from Boca to get us through until a replacement could be purchased.
Any questions, concerns? That's it for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Abby, Steve.
Thanks, Abby. Steve?
Just take it with you.
Okay, we want to start back over at the very beginning of the budget on the very first page. Page 1, if you will. We don't budget for the recreation fees. Obviously, that's a function of the budget that's ultimately approved, so that's left blank at this time. This line 4 is reserve revenues. We do not intend to budget for the use of reserve funds for any particular items during the next budget year at this time, so that's a 0 as well. For those of you that may not be familiar with this format, let me back up a second. Beside the assumptions, to the right of the assumptions is our current budget for 2024-25. The next column is where I'm projecting that we will wind up at the end of this current budget year. And then the column to the right of that is your projected variance. So I was talking before that we have an overall positive variance expected for the year. So, and that's an accumulation of all these individual accounts, line by line. Some are over, but a lot of them are under budget, and overall we're going to be coming in under budget at the end of the year. So under column F is your proposed budget for 2025-26. So having said that, we'll start out with line 5, interest income. This is basically just a guess on my part. Fortunately, this year, as you can see, I'd only budgeted $12,000. I'm estimating we're going to be collecting around $51,000. I did invest some of your reserve money in government-backed securities. They're not FDIC insured, but they are government-backed securities, so our earnings have been up quite a bit. And just recently, I've taken $300,000 of your reserve money and invested it in 2 different CDs at 4.25% interest. But as we all know, probably the Fed's going to be cutting the rate next month, and there may be other cuts over the next year, I would certainly assume. So the rates that we have been earning, I do expect will be declining over the next year. So I'm estimating $36,000 in interest income over the next budget year. Line 6 is your classes. This budget is basically based on historical. That is revenue that we collect for the various type of classes that are held in the rec facilities, not to be confused with the exercise classes that we hire independent contractors for. This is classes like various different card classes. We used to have ceramics, we no longer have ceramics, but maybe somebody comes in and teaches a computer class. Those are the classes that the instructor charges a fee per the student in the class, and we keep 10% of that money as our fee and pay the instructor the 90% of what we collect. So as you can see, it's not a lot of money. We're estimating $7,300 in income from those classes this year, and we will retain $730 of that money before we pay the instructors. Abby went over line 8 and 9, your theater and your dances. Line 10 is where we used to budget for our repertory theater. For this past year, the committee decided not to budget for the repertory theater, so I've left it blank. I don't know if that's the committee's decision for the 25-26 budget year or not. Okay, so I guess that means no more repertory theater.
You got it.
Okay.
Can we bring it up or no?
Well, it's the committee's decision, so.
The reason why it was eliminated, because we were losing $20,000 a year.
I mean, you gotta be sensible about some of this stuff, I mean,
You can't lose 20,000 when you only spend 16,000.
Yeah, we were spending $16,000 a year and maybe collecting $2,000 to $3,000 in revenue.
and then losing 20. Yeah. Move on.
Move on. Okay. Line 13 is a revenue from your ID office. That's from the issuance of IDs. Again, this is based on historical. I budgeted $17,500. It looks like we're going to come in just shy of $19,000. So I've budgeted $18,000 for the new year. Line 14 is guest fees. That is what it is. Fees collected from guests coming into the community. I'm budgeted based on historical $42,000 for the next year. Line 15 is miscellaneous income. The lion's share of this budget line item is fees collected from your estoppel fees. Now, although the number of unit sales is down, quite a bit in this community through July, down 21% this year. So based on that, I'm estimating collecting estoppels from approximately 380 units over the next year. What I am asking the committee, if you are in agreement, is to increase the fee that we charge for an estoppel fee. We are currently charging $200 per estoppel or $250 for a rush, which means that the title company needs the estoppel letter within 3 days. Yes, John?
You wanna go up, what, $50?
I wanted to go up, yes, $250 for a regular estoppel and $300 for a rush.
I make a motion to do that. Go up $50.
I second that.
I mean, that's people coming into the village, new people.
That's right, that's right.
But they should pay the cost.
It's just more revenue to reduce your coupon, so I think it's a good idea to increase the fees.
We got a first. We have a first and a second.
You got a motion and a second?
Can I call a vote?
Yeah.
Tony, you want to call a vote
Yes, I will.
on raising the estoppel fees? In an increment of $50?
Yeah.
Michael Zaslow,
Yes.
John Timmerman,
Yes.
Joyce Reed. Yes. Bobby Lovin. Yes. John Hess.
Yes.
John Gregg.
Yes.
David Furness.
Yes.
Ruth Dries. And Maureen Debater.
Yes.
Joanne. Yes. Tony, yes. David Boaz.
Yes.
Bruce.
Yes.
Patricia.
Yes.
Fausto.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay? Thank you very much. The smaller amount of revenue collected under the miscellaneous line item that we budget for is fees that we charge a personal trainer over at Hastings, $2,400. So a total budget of $97,400 for your miscellaneous income.
Your microphone on.
It is, sorry, I need to be closer, I guess. I'm sorry.
I didn't wear my hearing aids.
No, it's not your hearing. Yeah, okay. Line 28 is total salaries and wages. That is an accumulation of all of the employees here in this community, and we'll skip over that.
We're gonna go over that later, right?
We discussed that later on,
In a
right, in a
closed
closed meeting, yes, right. So line 29 is your real estate taxes. I'm leaving that flat only because we just received the trim notices just yesterday afternoon. I may have to adjust that, but I wouldn't expect much of an adjustment between now and when we have our next meeting. This is based on what we paid in the previous year. The same thing with your tangible personal property taxes, which is only $60. And line 31 is your payroll taxes based on the payroll that we're budgeting. So your total tax is $270,197. The next section is insurance. Line 33. This is your bulk of your insurance costs. This is your general liability, your property, business interruption, umbrella, and equipment floater. I'm estimating a increase in premium when this policy renews next August 1st of 7%. I'm hoping that it won't be that much because this past year I budgeted 15% and we came in with a reduction. So that's a good thing. So that's primarily why you're looking at a positive variance of $139,000 for this year. We also continue to have a self-insured retention of $100,000 per claim. Thankfully, in this past year, we did not incur any of that self-insured retention charges, but there are still possibly claims that took place in this past year that something may come into fruition in the next year. You never know. But I've budgeted for another $100,000 on top of the premiums that we have to pay. So $884,860.
We did have a couple of slip and falls there.
We've got a couple. Right. I think there may be one or two. They've not, I don't want to call them claims at this point because we refer to them as incidents. In this past budget premium year that just ended July 31st, between the 3 Century Villages, we had 75 incidents reported to our third-party administrator between the 3 communities. So that's basically 75 potential claims, but the third-party administrator has worked through those as best they can to this point, and not a single one of those has resulted in them classifying it as a claim and sending it to the carrier. So as far as the carrier is concerned for this past policy year, we have no claims. So let's just hope it stays that way. Line 34 is automobile insurance. This is the automobile insurance for the one WPRF truck that we own, the one trailer we own, and for an allocation of the insurance for our VP of maintenance and facilities director, Mr. Cruz's vehicle. I am assuming a 10% increase. The automobile insurance in Florida is just crazy. I don't know about your own personal, but mine's crazy, so I'd rather be safe than sorry, so that's why I budgeted for a 10% for next year, so $10,602. Line 35 is your other insurance. This is a combination of multiple policies. All of these policies have that are currently in place will expire November 30th, so the new policies will kick in December 1st. This is your employment practices liability, your crime and fiduciary insurance, also your cyber security policy, your workplace active shooter policy, a legal defense fund policy. All of those are bundled together into a combined policy for the 3 Century Villages and allocated accordingly. So it came in a little bit less than I had estimated last year, so I'm only budgeting for a 3% increase. So $11,840. Line 36 is your workers' comp insurance. Luckily, we're doing so well with our very, very low workers' comp claims that we have a 26% discount on our premiums. This is a function of your payroll. So $11,046 is the budget. Line 37 is your payroll insurance. This is your health and dental insurance for your employees, as well as life insurance and 401k plan related costs. Again, a function of your employees and your payroll. Budgeting for a 12% increase at open enrollment, which happens every July 1st for our employees. So $195,289. So that concludes your insurance section for a total of $1,113,637. Any questions? Okay. That's the boring part. Now the fun part. We're gonna start going over, the next section is your maintenance account, repair and maintenance, and taking care of the recreation property and facilities. Line 39, furniture and flooring. We budgeted $10,000, only estimating that we're gonna spend about $6,800, so we have a positive variance there, and we're only asking for $2,000 to replace some office chairs. Line 40 is your mechanical equipment and maintenance. This is several maintenance contracts that we have for your fire sprinklers in the main clubhouse in Hastings, for your fire alarm monitoring, and your fire line backflow inspections and safety inspections for your fire alarm system, miscellaneous repairs, and also supplies and repairs for your art room, stained glass, and woodworking shop. We're asking for a budget of $12,300. The lion's share of this support is all these maintenance contracts that are an absolute necessity. Line 41 is what Abby just went over, your entertainment equipment, $51,104.
But that needs to be changed.
That needs to be changed, well, it will be changed.
To 23.
Right, we're gonna move the $30,000 to this year, and then we will be adding the $2,000 for the delay speaker amplifier. So when we have our next meeting, those changes will have been reflected in the updated copy. Line 42 is your sports equipment and repair. This is your miscellaneous repairs for sailing and petanque and other sports, $3,000. Line 43 is landscape improvement. We're asking for $37,600. If you could flip to Exhibit B. Your exhibits start just after page 8 of 8. And I'm going to let Eva take it from here on this landscape improvements, if you wouldn't mind, Eva.
We're having a lot of problems with the irrigation on the island, so it's really non-functioning. Without the rain, we start to brown out immediately. So we've loaded that line at $20,000, so come November 1st, we can start on some serious sprinkler repair around the clubhouse. Item number 2, River Rock, we continue to put that at all the areas versus the mulch. It lasts a lot longer, so overall it's for 3 loads. Line number 3, to correct the soil erosion issue around the foundation of the main clubhouse. We have money on this budget to do that. We're waiting to do that once the clubhouse has been repainted. But we have soil erosion everywhere, so we are going to continue that project, and that's $5,000. We have several dead trees around the clubhouse and on the island itself. We have a total of 7 to 8, but we put 5,000 on this line to take care of the ones that are back of the pool house or in the, we have one that's on the south side of the parking lot, we have one on the bridge. So there are some that we can take care of them the following year, meaning the 26-27 budget. So that would be removal, and some would be removal, and there's 2 of them that would be with a replacement of a foxtail palm.
These are not rubber trees, are they?
I would never do rubber trees. I would never do rubber trees. They grow too big, the roots are invasive. Are you talking about the ones that died?
$2,000, we just had one removed.
I don't know if they knew how big they were going to get when they planted them. My mother always had them, but they were a plant for inside the house. So I was shocked when I came down here to see what they would grow into. But they're very invasive, they're very messy, and you need to have a lot of room for a tree like that. So no, foxtail, we're just gonna continue with foxtail, all right? And speaking of that, we have 68 around the rec facilities, and we treat them for bud rot. So that's an additional $2,300. We did have a couple of palms in the north parking lot that we thought we were going to lose, and we had Marty Bugs come and he boosted them with some vitamins, and I think we're gonna save them instead of having to remove them and replace them. So I think that's very important to have on this landscaping line. That's for a total of $37,600.
That includes white fly treatment.
That is Shoreline, and that is going to be through our water maintenance company. So that is coming up, you'll see a line for that.
Okay, back to line 44, lamps and light bulbs. This is for LED bulbs and housings to replace the old incandescent bulbs at the main clubhouse in Hastings and the parking lots. We're continuously doing that, but we're only asking for $4,000 on that line. Line 45 is your landscape maintenance contract. This is with Yellowstone Landscaping, including tree trimming, and they've asked for a 5% increase, $84,898. Line 46, pool sanitation. This is our pool chemicals and the cost for the briquettes and chemicals to maintain your pools. As you can see, there's quite a big overage this year because of the rapidly increasing prices of these chemicals over the past years and recent years. And more specifically, as recent as May, we started being charged with tariffs on the purchase of the briquettes that we purchased to maintain all of our pools. So we had only budgeted $69,000, and I'm estimating we're going to spend just over $81,000. So I've bumped this budget up to $85,300 for the next year. And unfortunately, I don't see any change in that. Dan, do you agree? It's just going to continue to keep going up, unfortunately. Very expensive for those chemicals. Line 47 is your pool area maintenance, and that's Exhibit C. If you wouldn't mind flipping to Exhibit C, which is the second page following page 8 of 8, where we're asking for a budget of $506,500. Dan, you want to go with this?
Yes, the first one is Kent Pool. We have talked about this as we're renovating of the pool house, restrooms, ADA, just like we did over at Southampton. There's roof replacement in there, Diamond Bright.
Talk louder, Dan.
Okay, there's
This is the renovation of the restrooms and the ADA unisex restroom, just like we did at Southampton. There's a painting of the awnings there. It's a complete renovation of the pool house, just like we did over at Southampton. That's including the pool itself, the perimeter tiles, awning, roof replacement, fence replacement, and installing new landscaping. This will be the second one. We have 3 more, or so it will be 3 more to do, okay, because we have 5 satellites. General repair and maintenance for 10 pools, interior, exterior, 5 satellites, 3 main clubhouses, and 2 Hastings, $65,000. That's just general maintenance to maintain, the facility. Main clubhouse resident pool deck, sandblast, and reseal pavers. This has not been done in years, and we just don't want to let it go like we had the replacement that we did. This is going on probably about 8 years now.
Yes.
When we replaced those, 8 years?
About 8 years.
8 years ago. And when we replaced the ones that we replaced, they just fell apart. So if you don't do anything and seal these things, they just will crumble, and we put too much money out there too. That's a big deck. Reslinging the pool furniture chairs, that's just a continual thing that we have with these types of chairs, okay? Remember, these are the sling back chairs, they're not the strap chairs, so they're a little bit more expensive than your strapping chairs. And it's just something that we do every month, pick them up and take them out. It's just constant. And engineering for the ADA unisex restroom at Camden Pool House, $6,500. Any questions?
Okay, if there's no questions there, we can go back to page 2 of 8, to the very bottom of the page, line 48, tennis and pickleball court maintenance. This is the miscellaneous supplies and repairs for the nets and the wind screens. We have some repairs ongoing currently right now, and it looks like we're going to come in just very slightly under budget. So we're only budgeted $3,000 for the next year. Line 49 is your elevator maintenance. This is with the, yes, Les.
Courts 5 and 6 need resurfacing. What? You're not going to do that with $3,000 for plans for that?
The reserves for doing it the following year, all 6 courts.
Resurfacing.
Yeah, we're doing it the next, it's, we spread it out on a 3 to 4 year plan, because of the amount of money and repairs that we had on a lot of projects. And that will start next year, okay? I think we're doing all, it's going to be proposed for all, to be resurfaced.
When you say next year, are we talking the 25, 26 budget?
No, we're talking 26, 27 year.
And it's just because of what we spent already, and it's usually the lifespan's between 4 and a half, so we're trying to keep it that way. But we know the ones that have not been done for a while are court 5 and 6 that you're talking about, but that's, unfortunately, it has to wait till the next following one because of some of the projects that we have going on right now.
Anything else? Okay, line 49 is your elevator maintenance, and this is the contract with Coastal Elevator for maintaining the clubhouse elevator and the lift, as well as the single remaining, we hope, single remaining Hastings lift with a 5% increase in their contract price. We're asking for the cost to remove one of the Hastings lift and a stucco repair for $10,000, and miscellaneous repairs of $3,000. So Dan can address that further if you have questions about removing one of those lifts at Hastings.
Remember, we had discussed this, okay? The 2 lifts, one's been down already. why continue to try to repair that. We don't use them out there. We'll use some of the parts from the one that we're taking apart. And we will stucco the outside and fix up the inside and just get rid of that one left. We'll still have one, we have to have one there for ADA. But it'll save thousands of dollars.
Next line, item 50 is your janitorial contract. This is with Glow Cleaning. The current contract expires October 31st, 2028, and we have an annual 2% increase in their contract. This includes janitorial services for the main clubhouse, for Hastings, for Yuko's office building, and the security houses and their laundry facility, $30,710 a month. Also includes the annual cleaning of the exterior windows of the clubhouse in Hastings, $368,524. Next, line item 51, there is no budget because last year the committee requested that the janitorial contractor begin including the price of the garbage bags and the various types of soaps and things that they charged outside their contract. So they're no longer billing us monthly for those supplies. It's included in their contract price. Line 52 is air conditioning maintenance, and these are maintenance contracts again. This maintenance contractor is with Florida Cooling Group. It includes the main clubhouse in Hastings, and they went up slightly on their contract price this year, $21,120. It also assumes 10 coil cleanings during the year at $400 each. It includes the annual maintenance contract for your cooling towers with contractor AIG with a 5% increase. The chiller maintenance contract with Debonair at $6,253, plus the annual cleaning of the condenser at $28.93. So total contracted maintenance cost of $38,354. Line 53 is air conditioner maintenance non-contract. We also have an exhibit for that, which is Exhibit D. If you wouldn't mind flipping back to Exhibit D, where we have $45,000 even. The first line item is just general maintenance and repair for anything that happens, breakdowns, whatever. And then Dan can address the main clubhouse replacement gradually of the Johnson controls in the clubhouse that were not replaced with the HVAC project. So we're spreading that over years for $20,000.
Pretty much we went over this. These are just the units that were never done originally in the air conditioning plant. Okay, so we're putting them into the newer system that we have in place. The older controls do not adapt with the new system that we have. Yes.
Does that include the chemical chill Legionnaires' disease in the air, in the chill water system?
We take care of, we have a separate, that's under the chemicals that we take care of for the cooling tower. Okay?
Yeah.
And we do water testing and all that for that portion of it, but yes, we take care of that. We take tests every year for that, to make sure that our water levels are right.
But it's not, doesn't have the,
We don't have any problems. Yeah, we don't have any problems with that. It's a real, big thing when it comes to the cooling towers.
Any other questions? Okay, the next line item is 54, and this is your air conditioning controls. This is again a maintenance contract with a company called BAS. They're going up a bit because they've not increased their pricing in many years. Also, non-covered expenses outside of their contract. We're asking for $19,360. Line 55 is pest control. This is quite a few things. This is pest control with a company called Marty's Bugs for the annual service for the main clubhouse and the pools, including your lawn control. Also, the annual renewal of drywood termite service, as well as the annual renewal subterranean termite contract for the main clubhouse. Also $5,000 for miscellaneous pest control such as beehives, iguanas, ducks, etc. And midges at the main clubhouse shoreline. So the total combined together for all these services for pest control, $21,482. Line 56 is your general maintenance and repair. This year, we're estimating we're going to come in over budget around $31,000 on this particular line item. One of the main reasons for that was the remediation project that we did in the ID, in the WPRF, AR office area of the main clubhouse, as well as some final change orders and extras that came along with the main clubhouse lift station project that was budgeted in the prior year but carried over into the current year, most of which we had budgeted for because we carried it over, but there were some unexpected items at the end. So for the next year, for Exhibit E, we're asking for $221,320. If you would please flip over to Exhibit E, and this is our last exhibit. So things will start to move a little bit quicker. Dan, you want to go with this exhibit?
Line 1, general maintenance for recreation project based on historical, $120,000. You have P&L Bolt Engineering. This is for the engineering to upgrade the electrical service, okay, to separate the mechanical room from the main switchgear to give us more power for additional things that they want to do in the future. And we've discussed this before. The automated door inspection, this all fell through a lawsuit that we had in Pembroke Pines. It's required to maintain and have a maintenance record of all the automatic doors in the clubhouse. So that's a $26,000 a year where they come out and maintenance, and we record it and keep it in place. If anybody gets hurt on those mechanical doors, like we just had in Pembroke Pines, without having that, will be a major lawsuit. Okay. Mechanical house, north front theater stage built out for storage area. This is the area that we're going to utilize some of the carpeting, okay, to repair the carpeting in the clubhouse, and then make that little corner or storage area that, Eva, if you want to explain that little storage area?
It's just to be able to keep water and things like that for backstage. We have so little room back there. So this way it would free up space for storage behind the staff office. But again, as Dan said, we have a couple of bald spots, I don't know, round holes in the carpet and in the theater. So when we pull that carpet up in that little corner to put in the closet, we'll be able to patch and put off the replacement of the theater carpet for a couple of years.
And again, that's in a rotation where we're going to start putting that money into a reserve fund that we'll continue to keep discussing, okay, so that we can get to a point where we can replace that theater carpet, including the clubhouse carpet, which has also been many years since we've done. Engineering plans for the Hastings Gym. This is something that's been ongoing with us for a while, but we decided to just expand the gym by taking the office spaces that are there and expanding out. We did have a lawsuit in there just recently, this year, if not last year. This year. A lawsuit to trip and fall on equipment.
That
just got settled.
A couple of years ago.
And it's because of the way that we have the equipment in there kind of compressed, okay? With this expansion will help not only give us more room for more expansion of more equipment in there, but make it so that people are able to walk properly without tripping over any extension cords or pieces of equipment in the past, which happened just, like I say, a few years back. And that's just the engineering, okay? We'll get the cost after the engineering plans, we'll put it out for bid. Main clubhouse ladies locker room, remodel engineering, $6,500. That's just the same thing that we did to the men's room, okay? So we're going to be doing it to the ladies room. Annual roof inspections for both the flat and shingle roofs. Spent a lot of money. Want to continue to keep getting that inspected and repaired. And Hastings annual roof inspection, also $3,570. And that just keeps up with warranties, things like that, you know, for manufacturer warranties. Any questions?
Okay, back to page 3 of 8 on line 57. This is the waterway maintenance account. Again, multiple contracts are coded to this account. Our contractor is Solitude Lake Management. We have 3 contracts with them, which is the treatment of, they take care of the treatment of the main waterways, and also our basic lake assessment, as well as the aerator maintenance. We also have a maintenance contract with Fountain Design for the quarterly cleaning of the fountains. We have an annual contract for the with Solitude for our midge spraying cost around the waterways as well. And $3,000 for miscellaneous costs, and an annual fountain acid wash of $975. You'll see we're over budget around $10,000 this year. The reason for that is because we had higher than normal fountain repairs needed this past year, as well as the main clubhouse culvert pipe inspection and repair that we had not budgeted for, but had to be taken care of. So we're asking for $63,961 for taking care of the waterways. Any questions? Line 58 is road maintenance. We budgeted $7,000 this year, only spending around $4,400, so we're asking for $4,000 in miscellaneous repairs. I put this next thing, further engineering for the main courthouse parking lot, in red for $10,000, because I don't know if you even want to go there, or you want to discuss it, or you want us to take it out of the budget. Dan?
Me and Terry's gonna take it up.
Joyce, you have a question?
Yeah, I'd like to know if you can explain exactly what you need done there.
Okay. The parking lot does not meet the requirements, okay, of ADA. I cannot continue to keep doing the repairs, okay, that we've been doing because if somebody reports or there's a trip and fall out there. Without doing this without a permit, okay, will get us more into a lawsuit. Since we've taken the bumpers out years ago, we have not had a trip and fall out there. But the ADA does not meet the requirements. That's where they're, if you notice where they're at, there's no proper access, okay, to those parking spaces. So I can't continue.
Understand. What makes it ADA? I'm sorry.
It's how you could have access from the walkway to the parking space.
Okay, thank you.
We've had plans made up over the years, spent thousands of dollars, okay, to just get some ideas, okay, to additional parking over there by the shuffleboard court. We've had some suggestions, of course, in the front to widen it, okay, so the buses could be parked in the front, making more accessibility. But like I said, if we want to go further than this, it's going to cost us thousands of dollars to get somebody in here to give us a good idea of what we can do to that parking lot. And I'm asking you if that's what you want to continue, but I don't want to keep doing what we've been doing. Either we decide that we're going to go forward with this, or we put it in the reserves and discuss it in another 2 or 3 years. But I cannot go any further by putting any more asphalt like we just did on a overlay in front of the clubhouse. We cannot do it. Our attorneys will not allow us to do that without having proper permits to do it. As soon as we pull a permit to do a overlay over there, okay, and stripe it, that the building department is going to ask us to do a survey, and they see that it's not proper, they're going to make you do it, okay? So I don't want to open up a can of worms either, okay? That will cost you thousands of dollars. So it's something that really needs to be planned out and thought about. And I don't know if this is the right time to discuss it, but if we could put monies in a reserve and talk about the reserves that we've been talking about to extend this out a little bit. We've been doing this for a long time. I think we could, you know, maybe do another year before we make that decision. But I just wanted to bring you up that we have spent thousands of dollars, okay, in trying to come up with some ideas. We just never moved forward with them, you know.
Dan, how much do you know the total cost would be to redo this? Like, if you're putting in 10,000,
We wouldn't know until we get a set of plans on what they actually would want. We have ideas, we have basically layouts, okay, that we brought over the past. Yeah, and we do, and that's what but again, the reserves are something you could explain.
Yeah, I'm not specifically budgeting for reserves. When we met the other day, somebody brought up the point that you didn't think that we discussed this when we had our meeting before.
Yeah,
And-
but we did, we have discussed this plenty of times at this point.
Can I just give this additional information? So to be spread out, we have a list, and the parking lot, as a guesstimate, and I think it's gonna be way over this, is 200,000. And of course, we'd have to accrue the monies, and where we have it is that this would not be addressed until 2029, 2030.
The only thing we were looking at it for discussion, again, we're not really prepared, we just wanted to bring it up as a topic because we discussed this before, okay? I just wanted to say that we should just keep this in the back of our minds, that we might want the next following year to come up with some kind of a price from a engineer, okay, civil engineer, to give us a cost of what it's gonna take, okay, to do this, so we can get a good idea of what the cost would be of a project to upgrade the parking lot, okay?
Do you have a line item now for engineers? Because we use them a lot for everything we have to do. Do we have a line item now for that?
No, we
We don't-
budgeted in the individual line item that pertains to it.
Okay, so we can start one for the parking, is what you say.
Correct.
Okay,
We could start gathering the information.
okay, good idea.
And the reason I'm just letting it slide back is I think we have some other, we discussed this already, a lot of people here don't understand some of the stuff that we're talking about, other than the board members, we discussed this over a couple times, but we have some urgent things that we're going into. Of course, the P&L is a big thing of changing over. That's, to me, that's more important to get done due to the fact that we had the switchgear trip out not too long ago. So we want to upgrade that so that we could add for future heat pumps and things like that we're looking, lighting for the back and shuffleboard courts, things like that we can increase power to some of these areas that some of the people are requesting some items that we can't do at this point. Okay, so the parking lot has been that. I'm just explaining that I cannot go forward if somebody wants to go forward to do any repairs in the parking lot other than minor repairs. I can't do any more overlays. Yes.
Yeah, Dan, looking at the parking lot surface now, what's your estimate of when we are going to need another overlay?
You were probably needing to do this a while back. It's in time for repair. Let's put it that. And there's certain areas that are in bad shape.
So if we're going to have to do that, that's a given, and we're going to need to do an engineering study before we can do that. I think you're pretty much answering the question that we need to do the engineering study now.
Yes.
Well, the other thing is that we put it in. We do have it in the reserves, and I think this should be a discussion. I can't just give a price right now. That's the problem. There's no way that I could do that, but I think we have money in the reserves, okay, that we can tap off if we wanted to, and discuss this further and bring in an engineer in here, okay, and discussing it further with the professionals, okay, to give us a real good idea, okay, where it would be and what the cost would be for that. So we could always do that along the road. That's why I'm saying the reserves are being pumped up. You're putting money into those reserves. That's good money that we could utilize and discuss this and bring the engineers in here. And if you do decide even during the year, we could probably, if it's $20,000 or $25,000 to get that report, then we could do that, if you wish. I'm just bringing it up because I just want to make sure you know that I can't go further. I was telling her I cannot do any more repairs to the parking lot, as per our attorneys.
I hound him on this.
We're talking no slurry, we're talking replacement.
Yes.
John, you had a question?
Yeah, I know, we talked about this before, about the parking lot, and here we are still talking about it. Let's just move forward with it. Get the engineer, and if it needs to be redone, let's get the price and what it's actually gonna cost us.
That's going to start with the engineering.
Yeah.
So that's exactly the first thing that has to happen.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, but if it makes sense
Okay, again, I think that this is something that we could bring up. I don't want to, as of the reserve money, okay, to do, okay, other than put right now on the line. I'm not prepared for that for a line item, okay? I was only preparing myself for what we agreed upon, okay, what we discussed. We brought this up in the past, but if you asked me to do that 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago to get an engineer price right now, I would have done that, you know, but I'm not prepared.
My question is, you got me confused. My understanding is that you were asking $10,000 to get somebody to come in and tell us how to redesign the parking lot, to make it compliant.
I will try to get that price for, I was not, again, I'm not prepared to
So
say.
what's this $10,000 for? Isn't that what that's for? That was my understanding.
Yeah.
But then you switched it around.
Yeah, okay, and I will go from that then. Sorry, Fausto, I don't want to
Okay.
get confused, I apologize.
I'm hard to confuse, but you got me
Yeah, I got you
confused.
confused, okay, so, we'll use the 10,000, okay, I'll get an engineer, we'll discuss it with here, see what the price will be, I'll bring him in here, okay? And that will put into the budget to see.
That'll give us a
Over that,
plan,
you'll-
so we
you'll
can
get an
send it
idea,
out.
Okay?
Yeah. And
I
listen,
just don't think that $10,000 is gonna be
It's
for the
gonna be
overall,
enough.
but I think it would be enough to have a layout plan and have them come in and give us some kind of an option of what to do.
and, you know, I could bury you in pictures, so when you go out to the parking lot to go to your cars, make sure there's no car coming and then look down. Anywhere you walk, we've got problems everywhere.
The parking lot's been an issue all the way back from the reconstruction, the renovation project up here when it was delayed back then, you know, due to the fact they knew that it was gonna open up
I think we're all in agreement that,
I'm gonna-
that we have to do step one of engineering now.
We have it, and we'll get that engineer, and we'll get him in here. Well, we have the money at least to have that come.
Yeah.
See where it takes
Yeah.
us.
David?
I didn't know. David.
I'm in favor of getting the study done, but I think it should be done for what is there and not necessarily trying to push in extra parking spaces.
Okay. Making it compliant in what's there, okay, is not gonna definitely give you not more parking spaces for the spots that you have. You're gonna basically take spots away. I know that for a fact. That's why it was not done in 2005.
Well, that's my point, you know, that, let's get a plan for what it costs to have it compliant as it is now.
Okay. All right. I will get that set up and get some engineers to come in and talk, okay?
Okay. Moving on, bottom, the line of page 3 of 8, line 59, uniforms, it's for any new hires for maintenance staff, only $250. Page 4 of 8, line 60, shoreline expenses, this is for
Excuse me,
any
quick
miss.
question. Are we
Yes,
going to go
ma'am.
through all 8 pages today?
I certainly wouldn't think so.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah,
I'm
we
getting
usually don't
tired.
make it that far, we've never made it that far, let's put it that way.
We could if we want to. Are you
No,
making a motion that we stay here?
No, my problem,
Thank you, Joyce.
my question was, when
We
should
got
we
dinner.
stop? I'm getting tired.
She's wanting to know when we're gonna stop.
Thank you.
It's why I fed you in case we ran into overtime.
Okay,
We did 4 pages for the day.
You can say we'll stop at 3, whatever you guys want to do.
all right. We'll stop before too much longer. I promise, Joyce. Okay.
Thank you.
Line 60, shoreline expenses. This is for any miscellaneous repairs needed for the geotube around the shoreline. Only $2,000.
Donald has a question on that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is more of a Dan question. The last winter, it's been quite dry, so the water level went down a lot, and we were all able to get a good look at what the shoreline looks at. I know 3 spots that have blowouts, including one right next to my house at Chatham. The per diem for repair for Frank Marine is already over, just for one repair, is over $2,000. So I'm thinking that might be a little light. Does everybody understand what we're talking about here?
Yeah, Don, we've got some blowouts over at Dover.
Yep, yeah.
You know, so I think there's quite a few more, and we're way light.
Okay. All right, we got.
I need 2 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll bring it up to 10,000, okay?
Yeah, that sounds better.
Okay, my thing is too, is that whatever those areas that you see, because normally they would tell me, you know, from where they do their
Right.
inspections, okay, but if you could just tell us the areas are
And,
missing.
but unfortunately now, they're all covered with water.
But do you know the areas though?
You know, I didn't make a list, I just, you know, as I'm driving around, I happen.
Chatham, which-
All right, there's one in Chatham, across from Ruth's house.
Okay, but we're gonna bring it
Yeah.
up and then we'll discuss, that way we can get these.
But there's, I mean, I have one, definitely, there's one at Dover, so there's three right off the bat.
Okay.
So I'm just thinking, and that assumes a one-day repair. The per diem, when we hire Anchor Marine to do a repair, the per diem is now up to, I think, $23.75.
Yeah, it's not cheap, we understand
Yeah.
that. We'll bring that up to 10,000. If you don't know, these geotubes is basically a liner, okay, filled with sand inside of it, okay? And as soon as the sun is exposed, when they're exposed to the sun, this is the problem, you know? That's why we also have where you guys are not supposed to get within 10 feet of that geotube to protect the geotube up there, you know? So, a lot of money went in, there was millions of dollars that you spent to put that geotube out there. And now since, it's been what, how many years now?
Oh geez, over 10.
It's gotta be over 10, it's about 15.
Well, the project was finishing up when I got here in 2011, and that was
Correct.
October
Yeah.
2011. They were finishing, I think, Windsor.
We never really saw the geotubes like we did see them this time here. This is the lowest these lakes. It has been a while since we've seen these lakes this low. So I thank you for bringing that up.
Not a problem.
So we're gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
So-
Okay, got it. Line 61 is your Hastings maintenance and repairs. This is for your fitness equipment repairs as needed. $13,000 based on historical and expected increase in repairs as your equipment is now 13 years old. Our annual maintenance contract for $7,000 to cover the old and the new strength equipment. So $20,062. We're coming in over budget this year because, as we've been saying, the repairs continue to mount on
I
this
thought we
equipment.
replaced most of the equipment a
That
couple of
was
years ago, 4 years ago.
strength equipment.
Yes.
Cardio was replaced probably 2012, 2013. It's getting to the point where it's end of life. The companies, the name of the companies that's on the equipment are not even in business anymore. What I will tell you is last year, the repairs for cardio was around $5,000. We've topped over 10. So it's more than doubled. I've met with someone to give us an idea as to a price, and that is something that I'm planting a seed now, but will come up for the next budget year for serious consideration.
Picks and shovels, let them dig holes.
Say-
Excellent cardio work. Shovels and picks are free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that concludes your maintenance and repairs accounts, total of $1,624,000. The next section is travel and entertainment. Abby already went over those two lines for a total of $10,300. Next section is security, line 66. This is a big line item. This is our security contract with a new vendor with pay rates ranging from, or contract rates, I shouldn't say pay rates, contract rates ranging from $23.97 to $33.84 an hour. Plus they're going to be charging us just shy of $24,000 for a dedicated vehicle that roves through the communities and to the pools. This includes 6 guards daily at the clubhouse and 4 at Hastings, totaling 560 hours a week, plus the sales tax on all the billings. And I have added $3,000 for the cost of miscellaneous equipment that's not provided by the vendor in the contract.
You have a question over there?
Hi,
Denise?
thank you. So I have a question regarding the security and the staff managing front desks, for example, outside. So that we have 3 security people. 3 of them are on their phones. Nobody's monitoring any of the cameras. And the same I see over at Hastings. Everybody seems to be on their phones. And
Maybe that's why we're changing vendors. I personally
Oh.
can't address that,
Oh.
but,
Okay.
Eva
So
and
you're
or maybe
talking
some
about
of the,
adding a new vendor, not who.
we have a.
No, we're gonna be
Okay.
changing out, we're gonna get the same vendor as Yuko, so that we're going to work.
Yeah, because it's
Yes.
such a
Yeah.
change. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments there? Okay, line 67 is your ID office cost for your photos. This includes our ID system with ABDI, which is the provider of our cloud-based systems. We have monthly charges there, as well as printing, supplies, ribbons, and cards. This is based on historical needs, so we're asking for $10,740. So total security cost $848,000, $840,000. You want to just go through one more section through utilities and then wrap it up?
No, keep going. Yeah, we got a couple more pages.
Well, we're not going to get through the whole thing, John.
We're gonna come back. We do it every year. We do half one day and half the next.
Yeah, we never do it all in one day.
Some of you are saying keep going and some of
Be
you
done
are
with
doing
it, Tommy.
this. So.
Stop the BS.
We're on a roll here.
Okay, next section is utilities. Line 69, communications. Primary vendor here is DSL Express with monthly charges for the fiber optic circuits, supporting all of the networks and the IT functions for the main clubhouse and the pools, including our VoIP telephone system in the clubhouse, plus emergency phones at the pools. $31,560. Various cell phones and flip phones, primarily for maintenance staff, and miscellaneous other phone repairs and purchases, and cell phone allocations for the entertainment department, $37,060. Sanitation on line 70, this is the current monthly rate with a 5% increase for the main clubhouse in Hastings, plus included $500 for any extra services, $10,220. Line 72 is your water sewer. I've tried unsuccessfully twice to get somebody from Palm Beach County Water Utilities to confirm to me what their increase will be effective October. They have an increase every October. They've yet to return my phone calls. So I've estimated a 4% increase. Last year it was 3.9, so it's probably about where it will be again. And that applies both to the base facility charges and the usage charges. So I'm estimating $88,500. So total utilities, $565,230.
I have a question, Eva. I know that in the past, we've had some issues with the Wi-Fi in the building here.
Yes.
I know that we have some questions that,
Correct.
can it be upped a little bit better, something with the service? Or
What I can tell, yes, go ahead, John.
We still have problems in here with the Wi-Fi.
Well, we had them, at the time that it was reported, they came out and said that there was a problem, it had died, and that they replaced it. Then I had Michael coming and saying that according to whatever program he has on his phone, that everything was great. But then I have Dave coming to me very recently saying he's having problems, he can't hold his Zoom meetings.
We can't hold a meeting.
And it's dropping, and then Dave just said to me that there was no Wi-Fi whatsoever. Nothing.
Not unless
So-
you, not unless you bill.
We'll be, we'll,
Outside there, right?
Yeah, you know, we spend a lot of money on having great hardware behind you and capabilities for having meetings here. And, you know, the Wi-Fi isn't acceptable enough for Euclid to hold meetings here. And we had a broadband meeting just recently, and I went to it, and I did get there just as it was starting, but it was already full in the room, and it was turned away. I couldn't even go to the meeting when we have this beautiful meeting room here that we could use. And, you know, truth of the matter is, this room gets more use than almost
Any other.
any other room.
Correct.
And add into the fact that 718 Florida statute now requires all of our condos to have 4 meetings a year. Most condos, if they're gonna have a quorum during the off-season, they need to have Zoom. I've had 3 meetings, my last 3 meetings with Dover, where I set up to have a Zoom meeting, and all 3 failed. And it's pretty embarrassing to get to where you've got a number of board members. We've got 20 board members. We're the biggest association in Century Village. And you stand up there, and the meeting starts a half hour late because we're getting everybody to call in instead on cell phones.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not just once, it's been a complete failure of this Wi-Fi system that not only is hobbling some of our associations, but also UCO, because I don't know how many times I've packed into that little meeting room in UCO so that they could have a Zoom when we could have it here. So I'm you know, I honestly don't care what it costs as long as it's reasonable to
Okay,
get
well,
good Wi-Fi.
I have that for you. When they were here to replace the Wi-Fi access point here in Meeting Room C, they did make a recommendation about increasing the internet bandwidth to 1 Gbps. This is the internet bandwidth that is currently provided to both Boca and Pembroke Pines. And the monthly charge for internet service will increase from $1,900 monthly to $3,400 monthly.
You know, do we need to get bids on, and this is, I apologize, this is beyond the budget meeting because we're talking about getting the budget together. But really, you know, do we go out to other vendors?
Yes.
Do we, you know, it's a lot of money, but I just can't believe, all I know is it's bandwidth plus it's reliability. Sometimes we got bandwidth, sometimes we don't.
Michael had a question.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, Michael.
No, no problem. What I've seen is it's intermittent loss. So essentially, if you come into this room and you try to connect, your connection's going to be a bit spotty trying to get on that network. But if you go out to the main hall area, then I was able to connect right away. It does hold. So even I'm getting a stable connection now. So I don't think it's a top-loaded issue. It's a connectivity issue that we're running into.
I have one,
Hold on a second. We brought this up. You can go to a hotel, Donald will tell you, and you can get the Marriott Hotel, and you can get a room that holds how many people, Donald?
Whatever you need.
250 people for what? $250 a meeting.
Yeah.
So you could have 12 meetings a month and not spend what they want to spend in 1 month. So it's not productive. Yes?
You know, back in New York, we had connectivity issues at the investment firm I worked for. And what we did was, we also came up, somebody quoted us like a really high price. So what I implemented was, we had 2 different networks. So sometimes when that connectivity didn't work, or there was something, I think we went with, I think it was AT&T and Verizon. So we got both companies, and sort of one played after the other, you know. So that might be, you know, a suggestion. I don't know, but I know that we had that same issue.
All right, well, thank you for sharing that. Donald and then John?
All right, so this appears to be a CAM issue, so I'm going to weigh in. Most of our associations here at Century Village are 24, 26 units. Some of the mid-rises are, Dave, what's your unit, 80, 82?
Well, I have some figures that I'll
Well, how
share.
many units are in your building?
Pardon me?
How many units are in your building?
There are 7,854 units.
No, that doesn't answer my question. Anyway, some of the buildings are between, say, 50 and 100, but most are in the 25 to 26 range. Setting up Zoom for that is easy, right? With the new rules, you have to make the Zoom available to every unit owner. In my building, not a problem. I got 24 unit owners and 5 board members. The UCO office can accommodate that. Dover and Gulf's Edge are a little bit of an outlier for us, right? You got 240 units in Dover. this is really a problem for those two condominiums because of how big they are. How do other condominiums with that many units or more handle it, or cooperatives? They go to a conference center. In New York, I've seen them go to movie theaters, and movie theaters can accommodate that because they have satellite links. So, well, I hear what you're saying, Dave. There's other options besides the clubhouse or Yuko, and your problem is kind of unique.
We've got a beautiful room here, and we've
Yeah.
got that hardware up there that works perfectly. And in this day and age, not to have decent Wi-Fi in this building for more than just over is insane.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but this is 2025, not.
Yeah, but we're talking, the numbers that we're getting is $35,000 a year, which is ridiculous.
We'll go out to bid, you know, or I think your idea is awesome, where you're talking about increasing the system for the whole campus, inside, outside, everything. And the suggestion you mentioned is to get just one company to come in and give Wi-Fi to this room. It's not gonna cost you anywhere near that amount for one company to give you Wi-Fi to this room. You look at the commercials on TV for all the different vendors for a business line with instead of right now at good bandwidth, we're getting 30 megabytes per second. They're giving you gigabytes. You know,
We understand. Honestly, we will get another bids too. We've had these situations happen in the other villages where we went to an outside source for certain areas, but we'll look for definitely getting prices together.
Yes, John?
But you're right, it should be no
I'm
problem.
with him, you know, we have a beautiful room here.
Yeah.
Let's make it usable.
That's why I brought it
It's
up.
not only the associations, okay? There's a lot of clubs that use this room, and they drop the internet halfway through their meetings sometimes, or halfway through their shows sometimes, and it gets it's upsetting.
David?
No, I would just get support.
I am far from a technician. But I'd like to ask you, David, is it the Wi-Fi or is it the Zoom part that you're more worried about?
If we
No, I just need a quick answer.
It's for Dover, it's Zoom.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right. I go back to my 43 years of umpiring. And when it's not in the rule book, the umpire has to make a decision as who's it most fair to. So I'm just going to put out two little percentages here. We have 7,854 units here. I took the cumulative total between Dover and Gulf's Edge, which is 451. So you divide that, and you come up with a percentage of 5.742. A somewhat good measure, but not an extremely high measure. If you further do it, and I'm just talking about the Zoom part of it, the only two associations of 309, you go down to percentage of 0.6472% of all the associations. I'm not saying it's not impossible, but I'm just looking at a point of fairness to each individual association and each individual unit owner.
But I've got to say is that it's not just us. It's how many meetings do we have in Yuko where you use Zoom for the community that we're packed into that little room? How many clubs use that? You're looking at, yeah, slice of the pie is Dover and Gulf's Edge, but I'm talking about. Go ahead, John.
It's not only Zoom.
No.
We got umpteen clubs that use this, and the Wi-Fi drops all the time in here.
You know, so, I mean,
We got a computer club, they have the problem.
we, yes, maybe he's going. But you'd be halfway through a meeting and then all of a sudden there's no Wi-Fi, you know, so it's just like. So
All right, we're gonna bring in another company, we're gonna try to get you prices by the next meeting, if we can get them in here that quickly. And we'll leave it at that, but we're gonna get you some additional information.
I mean, we've been talking about this for what, 2 years now.
I thought things were going more smoothly. And then when they replaced the access point because it had died, I thought we were okay until David showed up in my office. So,
I'm sorry.
John,
With the promise to go ahead and look into it further, I'd like to suggest we adjourn.
I second that adjournment.
Hey, aren't we gonna do the rest of the meeting?
Next time.
Well, but that's.
that's up to you, whether you want to adjourn now or whether you want to, okay, so,
I didn't know what these people were here for.
okay, Joyce, so we normally do this in 3 meetings.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so we just need to agree on a meeting, a new date. And then usually it's our last meeting, our regular meeting of the month where we finalize.
Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.
You're gonna be here by yourself.
Middle of September. The middle of September.
We always do it 2 or 3.
Monica needs to
We
float
gotta
the
have
dates.
specific dates.
Yes,
That's what I'm getting ready to do.
Is this Friday too early?
this Friday?
Friday.
Can't do it Friday.
Friday's
No
a time.
Friday. Okay.
I can't do next week.
Second, fourth.
You're saying not next week either?
No.
Come on, now
How
let's
about,
push it.
hold on.
Let's just get it done.
What day of the week is good?
How about the 8th of September?
No, that's a Monday.
No?
Yes, ma'am.
I can't do something after the 17th of September, only because I will not be here. I'm looking at finishing today.
Yeah, I vote finish today.
If they wanna wait that long, we can. We don't get, we wait that late,
We have
but
all 61 to do.
We still have to have another meeting.
It's not completely 2 pages though.
We still have to have another meeting.
well, hopefully we can get it all done in one more meeting.
What day do you suggest?
Right now, I could do any day except the 17th.
How about the 9th?
The
The
9th,
9th is good.
9th is good.
9th I can do.
How about tomorrow
Tuesday?
morning?
I make a motion that we do it on the 9th.
I'll second.
I've got it.
A Tuesday? It's a Tuesday.
At what time?
Same day as today.
Now, Tony's saying she can't be here.
not be back until.
I understand.
From the 17th, but if you could
I
do
understand, but this needs to get done.
Okay, what time?
What time? It's up to you
1
guys.
o'clock, okay?
1 o'clock
Is that the
on
9th or
Tuesday
the
the
18th?
9th?
The 9th.
Okay,
Okay.
consider it done.
Tuesday the 9th.
Yes.
The 9th?
Yeah, you don't have to be here. Okay.
All right, so it's the 9th at 1.
1
Tuesday,
o'clock, yes.
September 9th at 1 o'clock.
Yes.
We'll get through, try to get through everything that day.
It takes us 3 meetings.
All right. Right, so, and I'll bring in lunch again, so I'll send out the email.
So do we have a motion to adjourn?
Somebody made yeah, Joyce made a motion, seconded by John and Dave. Monica, do you need these back?
Yes, please. Would you guys